Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsacharuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Bhagavad Gita, you're on the third chapter. It's called Karma Yoga. And the fifth verse. Nahi kaschit shanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krit karyate hyavasha karma sarvai prakriti jair gunahi. Because no one ever remains even for a moment without doing work. For all are made to work under the impulsion by the nature which is made of three qualities, three gunas. So, the idea was, there are people who will feel that, I'm kind of fitted for these higher practices of yoga. And they dispense with all the other small ritualistic things or kind of necessary supports. The Lord here advises, saying, no, you go through the processes of work, and only then will you come to a stage where you will be without work. Now, what is work? Yeah, we know what's work. We are in it day and night. We simply can't get away from it. And when we try to relax or get away from work, we think about work. Our whole life is it's a big work, and that work has become a burden. We kind of drag ourselves, another day. Some time ago, there was a survey by Pew Research. They're saying only 25% of the people really love what they do. Well, the rest they will get away from it if they had a chance. So we will see how in a couple of verses, the Lord will explain how work can be done in the spirit of sacrifice. And then He'll enumerate different sacrifices according to our capacity and according to our quality of the mind. But here He is very clear that no one ever remains even for a moment without doing any work. Now, we are sitting still. Yes, but that's work. You're listening and I'm talking. So it's all work. Swami Vivekananda even goes further. You breathe, that is work. You think, that is work. Everything that has a modification is work. And the modification is always in time and in space. So when I think, I have to think in time and I have to think within space. That is work. I'm breathing, that's work. Oh, yeah, it is subconscious work. Some works are consciously done. Some works are subconsciously done. It's kind of, I'm tired. What impels this work? I'm constantly working. I drank tea an hour ago. I'm doing the digestion. I'm digesting that tea. Well, I'm doing it subconsciously. But it's work. Whether consciously or subconsciously done, it is work. Who impels this work? Well, here he says, nature. What is nature? In Indian philosophy, nature is not looked like as a kind of a dead, insentient thing. Why? Because it is living. And how do all these transformations in nature take place? She is kind of constantly working. Now, how does she work? She has three qualities. They are called the qualities of Sattva Guna, Rajaguna, and Tamaguna. Those who are new know. Sattva is that luminosity, that calmness, where knowledge flashes. Rajaguna is depicted as red. It has passion and desire and activity and likes and dislikes. And the tamas, that is kind of depicted in black in color. And it's indolence, lassitude, sleep. So these qualities keep on churning and churning and churning. These qualities are in everything. In my body, in my senses, in my mind. In fact, my mind, my intellect, everything is made up of these three qualities of nature, including everything in creation. The trees and plants and birds and animals and everything in nature is made up of these three qualities. They are constantly in motion. It's never still. When you see nature still, momentarily, oh, it's so calm and quiet. Be aware. There's a storm arising. Here. So, it is nature that is... Now, like I said, it's not insentient. The Upanishads say, it's what is that nature? Devatma Shakti. It is the power of God. Swagunayani, hidden in its own cause and effect. The cause becomes the effect, and the effect in turn becomes the cause, and there's a whole chain of causation. These chains of causation are so pervasive everywhere. From the smallest being in the philosophy, they say, from a blade of grass to the creator God, they are all working. So, well, yes, everybody is working. Everybody is working, everybody is active. Everybody thinks and talks and works and breathes and lives. It is work. Now, if you see, like, we have this vase here, and this vase has its flowers. This is, you will say, oh, it is nature, it's prakriti. Okay? It's beautiful. But that work is affecting even this, but very gradually. We don't see the changes. Only Paula will find out, Dora will find out, after a couple of days, that needs to be thrown out. Yeah. Human beings have got two powers within themselves. Prakriti, Kriti is to kind of work. There is something called a Sanskriti. I can make it perfect. even more perfect. Or I can degrade it, make it Vikriti. I can deform it. So we have these two powers within ourselves. Nature is a raw nature, that nature is running us. There is that consciousness, because later on the Lord will say, the 5 great elements, including the mind, intellect, and the ego, form my lower nature. Well, Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayo Khammano Buddhi. Even my mind, even my intellect, even my sense of self, yes, it's all in nature. That is the Lord's lower nature. Yeah, well, nature has to belong to somebody. It's not a kind of a mechanical thing that is running out without any plan or purpose. There's a consciousness there. So what's the consciousness? That's a divine consciousness. So, that's the Lord's lower nature. And the slightly higher nature is that which has individual consciousness. You, me, everything. We are conscious beings. Jiva bhuta mahabhavo yahedam dharyate jagat. It is this consciousness that holds everything together. There are changes, and the changes are in sequence. But my consciousness can either enhance these changes or degrade it or defile those changes. So generally what we do is, we use our consciousness to better ourselves and the world around us. But of course, not everybody thinks like us. There are some who likes to break things. There are 2 types of people, Swami Vivekananda say. Those who can create things and those who can break things. Saying even a madman can break things. It's very easy. You give anybody anything, he'll give. We are generally breaking things up. When you start creating things, when you can utilize that creative energy, then you know you're enhancing things. Always. So this is the reason why I'm saying you can't stay for a moment without work. Well, you can enhance your life to this work. Don't look at it as a kind of a bondage. Oh, my mind and my senses and my body and everything is a prison house. No. Your consciousness can be used to enhance your own life, enhance the life of others, and come out of this bondage. If you think that's a bondage, then you'll be bound. If you think you're free, you'll be free. And consciousness is free. But right now it's enmeshed with nature. It's identified with nature. We just can't separate these 2 things. So the Lord says, if you are in this position, you can't live without work, you see? And then, so this is, what happens is, when we interact with people, we might not really know what that person's profession is. Suppose there's a doctor. We talk to, he's a doctor. And then, as you keep on interacting with that person, you will catch what that person is. Oh, he's a doctor. By the way he talks, by the way he thinks, he or she would. What happens is, just below the surface of your upper mind, you have laid down over the years, over and over, repeatedly, your inner nature. Your inner nature is that just below the surface. When we interact with the surface, how are you? Huh? Fine. Yeah, good. Well, I've got a kind of a stomachache. Really? That doctor in that person, let me look at it. Yeah. Everything. Engineer, lawyer, doctor, everything, anything. Your nature is just below that kind of. This is your inner nature that you have worked. Using the materials of nature, you have laid down a long identity, a solid identity. This is your individual nature. So you have extracted the materials from external nature and you have actually built your nature. Well, you say, these detox centers, they are so unsuccessful. What? The guy, he's detoxified and then he comes out and then he goes back into what he was doing and he has to be back in the... Why? All his good senses, his good intentions fail. Why? Because he is under the power of his own past actions. What you have laid down over and over and over and over and over, you have done those things over again. You are under the impulse of your own nature. So here you're impelled by your own nature, number one. And the external nature has supplied you the materials that are constantly in motion. Imagine an atom which is still. Well, there is something called superconductivity, but it's only for a moment, a little longer, where you can still the atoms by cooling it. But otherwise, every atom to the highest galaxies and universes, they're all in motion. This is nature. Constantly. We think we are sitting still. Obviously, we are sitting still. Yeah, but you see, that's relativity. We are whirling around the solar system at breakneck speed. And we are not even aware. And the solar system is spinning around something else, and that something else is spinning around something else. We are in a whirl. But we don't realize it. So this constant motion, nature is that constant motion. So the Lord says here, you can't stop working for even a moment. Don't try to stop work. Use this work to enhance yourself, to create a better identity. Yes, I am a child of God. I am a part of God. I am divine. I am loving. I am compassionate. Lay down this new identity. It's in your power. You can do it. And this is the idea. Don't shirk work. If you do that, you're fooling yourself, which the next verse speaks about. Before you can go into that, these three qualities of nature, the three gunas, they are also called, another meaning is a rope. Something that nature has used to tie us down at a stake. Probably like Joan of Arc now. So, nature has tied us down. But that very tying us down has got a loophole where she can free us. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example. In India, we use those huge fish nets, and the fish get into that net through a small opening, and they could have reversed their journey in. They don't do that. They feel they are caught, and they get caught. It's like that. We must understand where exactly is our strength, what exactly is our weakness. If you can find that out, you can escape. And everyone really knows what one's strengths are and what one's weaknesses are and how we cover up. So one of the advice Sri Ramakrishna gives, see, you must now and then go into solitude. Sit down quietly and meditate on God. Well, it's very difficult. When you come out, you want to go in a solitary place, you are confronted with yourself, with what you are. It comes in bold relief. And we don't want to face that. We'll do everything to distance ourselves from that. And after we've understood that this is what I have created over the years, there's no one to be blamed. We generally blame the world and blame others and circumstances. No, you are to be blamed. What you have done is what you can undo. That's the idea. People say, oh, Swami, please bless us. What will my blessing do? What will anybody's blessings do? You got to bless yourself. But looking at yourself now and taking some corrective measures. And they're not difficult. It's just that we have been trying to avoid certain things. I'm trying to fit in. I'm trying to be this. I'm trying to be that. And in the process, we lose this valuable time and we lose a valuable life. So we can take up this step and constantly work. We can change our lives, enhance it. Like I said, Sanskriti. The Indian original language called Sanskrit, polished. It means polished, perfected. And Vikriti is that which is kind of defiled. So Kri means to work. So Prakriti, that which works constantly. So this is, don't run away from work. Because if you don't do that task today, it's going to roll down and get even more immense, that it will be a bigger task in a couple of days. Accomplish it. And do it properly and finish it off. So this is the way we say. Now, as I said, nature has built our bodies and minds and everything. And we are in the midst of this whirlpool. Make the best out of it. Which is, of course, I said that the power of the universe is within you. Actually, it flows through you. Whole of nature is one. There is no break between the sun and me or the distant stars. We are all connected. Even on the physical plane, we are connected. Yeah, you can see all those solar rays. And the earth is like a huge, it is a magnet. That's why we are saved. Yeah. It's a ball of iron rotating. It's a magnet. We have a magnetosphere. And we have south magnetic pole and north magnetic pole. And so everything is working. Where is it leading us to? As I said, it's not blind, it's not insentient, it's not dull nature. It's working towards freedom. It might seem like we are going around in circles. Obviously, sometimes we feel doing the same things over and over and over and again. That will be, of course, dealt with in the later verses. But look at it as a kind of a spiral. We are going round, yes, but it's a spiral. You're going higher and higher with every work you do. The moment you become unselfish in your work, you are enhancing yourself. You keep on going higher and higher and higher. Or there's a downward spiral too. So, Sanskriti, you keep on perfecting a thing over and over and over again. And then, or you let go, and the third law of thermodynamics takes place. As they say, this whole universe is like losing its energy. So, entropy increases with time. You keep a place as it is for years, nobody should disturb this place. You come after 1 year and see what happens. Everything is kind of a disturbed, disorganized way. Notice? And that's why mothers say, clean up your room. I cleaned it up yesterday. Everything tends to disorder. Everything. Our work, our conscious work, puts everything in order. That is what we ought to do in life. Things are not working out for me, I am not paying enough attention to it. If I can, well, things will be ordered. Okay. The next verse is a kind of a warning for those who are escapists. Karmendriyani sanyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyartan vimudatma mityacharasa uchyate. One who, after withdrawing the organs of action, you have sensory organs and we have motor organs. We have sensory nerves and the motor nerves. Who, after withdrawing the organs of actions, sits recollecting mentally the objects of the senses. That one of deluded mind is called a hypocrite. There you are. No escape. God. Actually, I don't want that ice cream. No, I don't want it. Why? Oh, no. And then I keep on thinking of the ice cream. It would have been better if you would have gone and taken that ice cream and eaten it. Simple as that. So, but we make a big show of things. Oh no! You see, I'm such a saintly person, Oh, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't look at this, but I keep on looking at that. Oh. And I forget looking. Then I come back and that piece of suit was really good, Keep on thinking, but it's expensive, yeah. Then I imagine myself wearing that suit. I create my own world. Well, my Sunday's talk will be something on this. Yeah, you're welcome. I'll give you the whole treatment there. We have, apart from this external world of work, of nature's domination over everything. We have created a separate world of our own, a world of imagination. That is dangerous. Many people, they say, oh, you see, I've been meditating for so long, for so many years. Well, you've been meditating, like Sri Ramakrishna says, a couple of guys who were tipsy, it was night and it was a moonlit night, and saying, let's go out. They sat down in a canoe and they started rowing. Let's row. And they kept on rowing the whole night long, singing and shouting and laughing and joking. And when it was morning, they found they were in the same place. What happened? They had failed to lift the anchor up. Similarly with us, we are doing everything, but we have not kind of broken that world of imagination. That is a kind of a biggest stumbling block. That world has to go. See, what happens is, we talk about transparency and innocence and all these things. If you see a person like that, you must understand that person has no internal world of imagination. He or she sees things as they are, behaves very naturally, spontaneously. You see children, how they laugh and joke. When they're sleepy, they will sleep. If they don't want to eat, they will not eat. If they're hungry, they will eat. Nothing. They don't have any kind of social conventions and all. They are learning social skills from when they are 5. They keep on observing you. Okay. And then they keep on building this social skills. But these children, when they are kind of spontaneous. Actually, we all are. Somewhere deep down, we are weighed down. We have not lifted that anchor up. So here he says, a person who surrounds quietly, doesn't do anything, but mentally he's thinking about all those things which he's probably, as I say, missed a bus. He missed very many buses. And he keeps on thinking about it. That process has to stop. And what do? Well, you can fix that mind into work. When we work, pay attention and work, it'll be better. Or use that mind to think of God. Or becoming unselfish. This is how we progress. Sri Ramakrishna is saying, like, he used to say, bhaver ghore chori. Don't say one thing and do another thing. What you say, you do. And in this age, he used to say, the mind and the speech should be joined together. It's important. So this is integration. When we are integrated, life becomes much, much joyful. Then we don't care what people say or what is. If success comes today or tomorrow or day after, it doesn't matter. I know I'm going to succeed. Integration is important, and this happens when you don't divide yourself into two. One to kind of display to the external world, this is myself, and the real me inside, bitter, annoyed, angry, irritated. Oh. Actually, I was good, I'm fine. It's the world that's bad. So I'll read this again. One who, after withdrawing the organs of actions, sits recollecting the objects of the senses. That one of deluded mind is called a hypocrite. So mithya achara. Achara is behavior. Mithya is false. There's something called Satya Achar, your behavior based on truth. So, here it is like, be at least true to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. If you have a weakness, okay, admit it. And try to overcome it. They get into a denial mode. Then all the defense mechanisms come and stand up. You see, I was this, I was that, I was beaten up as a young child, and then in India, the children, nowadays, I don't know, things are changing. Yeah, they are changing. We used to get a kind of nice hammering. You say or do something wrong, and there comes bam, bam, bam. Sorry. You said that? What did you say? Bam. And from a larger perspective, we say and do something which is not true, and nature gives you a bam. And you slowly, oh my God, I should have known better. Because the world of karma also has something called the effect. Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. In fact, we will go further than Newton's law, saying that every action has an opposite and an enhanced reaction. Yes, you do something and it comes magnified to you. So if you do something good, it comes magnified to you. You are becoming good through your work. And if you do something, then nature also will say, bam, there it is. Take this, and take this also, and this also. So you are always at the receiving end. Why? Why should you be at the receiving end? Why can't you just protect yourself through your thoughts and through your words and through your actions? You have that. You are, and you say, I'm a victim. I'm victimized. And today's world is like, the victim mentality is dominant. Why? Why should you be a victim of your own self? Come out, become free. It's in your hand. It's, the whole responsibility is given to you. This verse just tells us, take the responsibility for yourself and be true to yourself. That's all it takes. Just be, yes, this is me. Stand in front of the mirror and say, yeah, this is me. Okay. I don't like what I see. Well, what can I do? This is what I can do. Yes, take it up. Start small, and you see the power building up within you. Yes, there's a tremendous power within good works, good thoughts. Because somewhere being, existence is good. If it wasn't good, it's not worth living. So something in our nature says, yes, being is good. And when we do something other than good, we are going against our own nature, and we are going against these transformations of nature. So slowly take that responsibility. Take that first step. Be courageous. Religious life is not meant for the weaklings. Many people say, oh, I'm defeated, I'm this, I'm that. No, you'll never come to religion. You've got to be exceptionally brave and strong. Religion is meant for the brave. Yeah. The very word virtue, Swami Vivekananda says, comes from the word vir. a hero. You've got to be heroic. That's the reason why the Lord, He told this Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. He was heroic, but momentarily, out of his kind of weaknesses and attachment, he kind of deluded. No, I won't fight. And he gave a lot of arguments. The Lord cuts them all. You stand up there and fight. Yeah. He could have said, okay, we'll avoid this bloodshed. And no, stand up there. That's a lesson for all of us. Stand there. Stand in front of yourself and take corrective measures. And once you can do that, I tell you, you keep on improving yourself. Not only improving, you will get stronger and stronger, and you can make other people strong. That's important. That's a test of your strength. The moment you will make other people strong around you, know that the strength within you is building up. It will be a wonderful kind of life if we can do this. We take the next. Yastu indriyani manasa niyamya rabate arjuna karmendriyair karma yogam asakta savishishyate. Yes, this is a kind of a clarification here. Yes. But, O Arjuna, one who engages in karma yoga with the organs of action, controlling the organs together with the mind and becoming unattached, that one excels. So what he says is, you have these sensory organs and motor organs. Control first your motor organs with your sensory organs. And then you control the whole thing with your mind. It's all it's an integrated whole, You take one end of it and start pulling yourself. So here he's saying, use your mind. We hardly use our mind at times. Sri Ramakrishna will say, Swami Vivekananda, he's like an unsheathed sword, constantly discerning, constantly cutting to pieces everything that's false. Keep that sword of discernment always with you. Generally what happens is, we are judgmental. When we meet somebody, we immediately judge. Rich, poor, happy, miserable, learned, ignorant, and all. And we put a stamp on that person forever and ever. Amen. No, we shouldn't do that. Because we have our likes and dislikes, and we have a cultural mold that we have grown into. Oh, these are good qualities and these are bad qualities. And the idea is to use your mind to seek what is permanent. That person has got something essential within that him or her. Try to discover that. That's important. Otherwise, we stamp. We go around with a stamp, put stamps on the people's foreheads. I've understood this. I've discarded this. So here he says, use your mind, use your senses to lift yourself. Later on you'll say, lift yourself by your own self, because you are your own friend and you are your own enemy. There it is. There is no enemy outside. The enemy is within. And that enemy, if nurtured properly, will become your own friend. So one who engages in Karma Yoga. What is Karma Yoga? Well, Karma Yoga is, now since we are constantly working, we are impelled into work. Whenever you do something which is beyond your sensory or beyond your genetic system, the genes are all selfish. They will do everything to safeguard this organism. If you can do something, bring a smile on somebody's face. Say a kind word. You see what happens to you. You are kind of coming away from your genetic limitations. Yes. It's a tremendous feeling. So, Karma Yoga is nothing but, of course, there's a Swamiji's very famous Karma Yoga lectures given here in New York, which is a great blessing to humanity. Tremendous. So, yoga, as I said, as I explained, is joining the lower to the higher. It's a kind of a yoking. Yoga, yoke. So you yoke your lower desires with the higher desires, and those higher desires with the still higher desires, and those with the higher. And you become better. There is another way. You yoke your motor system with the sensory system. They are locked. Okay. Then you yoke your mind to this system. Then you yoke the other one, the intellect with the whole kind of integration. You keep on raising yourself higher and higher to this method. This is in brief Karma Yoga. So, if you have to work, do it as a science, do it as a kind of a spiritual discipline. Do it as a discipline, any discipline. And Sri Ramakrishna will say, he used to get annoyed when somebody says, I know this. What? What do you mean no? Be curious, learn. There is no end to knowledge. You can never say, I know the whole of this book, or I know this mic, or I know this. No. Nobody can ever say in this world, I know everything about the atom. You ask? It's not possible. I know everything. Something or the other is always, always, always there, which you have not completed, which you still don't know. Everything in life is like that. We can never say, I know fully, as long as we are in the process of nature. This is wisdom. You strive. Because later on he will tell you that all work leads to knowledge. This is very important. Like, nowadays people say, these robots are doing this assembly line work, repetitive work and kind of. Humankind is trying to get away from this repetitive work. And why this work is kind of dull and boring? No work is ever dull and boring. If you pay attention, if you love it, there is nothing more. So every time we work, we gain knowledge. That's why he says, Sarva karma akhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Every type of work ends in knowledge. You become better and better and better and better. Every day. Yes, every day you are becoming better. And the day you've really worked sincerely, you feel so good. And then you can meditate well also. And if you have been a kind of a escapist the whole day, the boss isn't there. Yeah. And then you try and sit down and meditate. Then the boss will come there. You're trying to meditate now. So, if we work properly, Holy Mother, she's kind of beautifully, she says. Work itself is Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. When you work, your body and mind stay healthy. Yes. You need a Saturday, Sunday, fine, okay. But you try to extend that for 1 week, 2 weeks, you will be subject to all types of imaginary and real illnesses. You try it out. Work keeps your body and your mind fresh. It kind of sparks that interest within you. Yeah, I'll do this better. I can do this better. Yeah. And as a result, when you work, you are your subject and this is an object. Both benefit. You subjectively and the world objectively. So, that's why he says, you engage in karma yoga with the organs of action, controlling the organs together with the mind, and becoming unattached. Why, Swami Vivekananda says, there are two, we get attached to that work, and we also must be able to detach ourselves from that work. This is karma yoga. This is very important. We become attached very quickly. Something in us should tell us, no, we must be masters of our own selves. I can attach myself now to this. I can detach myself now from this. I can take up higher responsibilities or higher work or anything. I should not be kind of monotonous. I know only this. No. I will do only this. No. You're very versatile. Only thing, we kind of become comfortable. We run into ruts and become comfortable. We don't want to think a little more. I've been doing this for the last 10 years. I know it. Somebody says, I'm doing this for 10 years. You are not cut out for this work, my friend, I'll say. Hasn't this work lifted you up higher and higher? No. Then? So work gives you a lift. It raises you up. And as we keep on working, rising, living, becoming unselfish, becoming pure, you become a blessing to humanity. So, how do we come out of the attachment? Well, you can say, it's natural that the mind gets attached to a particular thing. Just tell your mind, see, actually, this doesn't belong to you. It belongs to nature. Or it belongs to God. Simple as that. I'm a kind of just a trustee or a servant or something. I've just been given this responsibility now. Then I belong to God there. This world belongs to God. So this way you can detach yourself from this. You will get attached and then you get detached. And that's Swami Vivekananda says, the very essence of education is to put your mind on a particular thing and remove it when it is necessary. This is training. And this training can come only through this work. And as we keep on working, we can attach ourselves and detach ourselves. There will come a kind of a mastery over yourself. Yes, it's very important. We are not slaves. We are masters. So we'll work as masters, not as slaves. No more drudgery for us. I will work as a hero, as a master. We'll stop here because I didn't realize it was. The next Friday, we take up the 8th. After a few verses, he'll bring this great concept of a sacrifice. Work as a sacrifice. It's one of those beautiful verses in this Gita, this particular section, that this whole world is working. This work is actually a sacrifice. When you work for something lower, you're working, you're raising yourself, you're getting something higher and higher. You keep on transcending your own self through your own work. So this work has now become a sacrifice. And the whole universe is working, is a sacrifice. It's tremendous. Some of the concepts are. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.